Welcome to Building Strong Paragraphs, a Writing 1 presentation. Please turn to Chapter 28 and How to Write Anything to follow along with this presentation. Your paragraph is going to really rely on a topic sentence, and you'll want to make sure that you have at least one topic sentence for every paragraph. So let's make sure we understand what that means. There are two ways we can define that. One is a one-sentence summary that tells readers what to expect as they read on. Others would define that as a one-sentence summary of the paragraph's main point. I've heard it referred to as a paragraph thesis statement. So the key here is that you're going to have a sentence that readers can look at and know what the paragraph's about. Now, some writers choose to combine transitions with the topic sentences. I'll call that a transitional topic sentence. And what that means is that you'll include your transition and your topic sentence all in one sentence. Often that will be right at the very beginning of your paragraph. That's a really great technique, and really it takes a little practice, but it's not too hard to do, and it'll really help your organization. But really where you locate your topic sentence is the writer's choice. Sometimes you want to build up to the topic sentence of the paragraph and have that partway through or even at the very end. Sometimes it helps to have a transitional topic sentence at the beginning, and then as you develop the idea across the paragraph, you'll have one more good, almost like a thesis statement, topic sentence toward the end of the paragraph. In the slide that you can see in front of you, I've included some page numbers from our How to Write Anything book where they have some really good examples of topic sentences that you can look at and get a better sense of this, how it might look throughout the course of an essay. As you start planning out your paragraphs before you write them, you really want to think about what the purpose of that paragraph is. For every paragraph, you really need to be developing an idea. And again, that's a little different than most of us have learned in high school, perhaps, where, again, you just provided a bunch of information in a paragraph and then moved to doing so in another paragraph. With this, we're working about ideas. And so we're going to develop an idea throughout the paragraph. And that might sound difficult or confusing to you, but really it's where you bring in an idea and then you support it throughout the paragraph, and maybe you complicate it as things go along. As you get to be a better writer, you'll see the different things you can do as a paragraph moves through. So what we want to do sometimes in a longer paper is actually have a whole paragraph that serves as a transition. So sometimes the purpose of the paragraph is to develop an idea. Sometimes it is to primarily provide information before moving on to another idea. And sometimes you're going to have the purpose of the paragraph be to work as a transition within your paper. You want to make sure that each paragraph is organized well too. And again, some of us are used to just sitting down and writing whatever pops into our heads. And when it seems like a good stopping point, we call it a paragraph and move on to the next one. That's a terrible idea though. We want to actually organize our paragraphs, and you can see page numbers of where to look there. We want to think about organizing our paragraphs, and we can use these various patterns. There are quite a few we can use. These are some of the popular ones and pretty common for this level of college writing. We can compare and contrast. We can include a process. Sometimes that's where you're telling readers how to do something. Sometimes that's where you're explaining to readers the order in which something occurred. You also can include a definition pattern. Sometimes the whole paragraph will be a definition and explaining what something means. Sometimes you're going to be working a definition in there. Sometimes you might choose a cause and effect pattern as well. And again, these are just a few patterns. Oftentimes you're going to be mixing and matching. That's why we say use one or more patterns to help lead readers. Because within a process paragraph, for example, you might include a few definitions because your readers need to know how to define something before they can use it or understand what order things came from. But you want to think about what might be most appropriate for you. And you do want to keep paragraph length reasonable. I don't need paragraphs of a page and a half, especially in a 4-page paper. We don't want paragraphs that are huge, but we also don't want paragraphs, for the most part, that are only 1 or 2 sentences long. They need to be somewhere in the middle there. I can't give you a specific definition of they need to be exactly this long, but 3 to 5 sentences at the minimum is usually okay. But often you're going to have 5 to 7 sentence paragraphs, even longer than that, depending on, again, what the purpose is.